it's time to go on to one of their later ones as well. Still 90s. Still in the 90s. It's 1997. This is when they partnered up with Neat Metal Records out of Britain. This is reissue of classic Savage, Loose and Lethal. What can I say? This is a classic new wave of or I guess to some people, I guess second wave, a new wave of British heavy metal, I guess. But because this was originally released in 1983 on the Ebony Records label. And everyone should know, if anyone has never been familiar or not, anyone ain't familiar with the Ebony Records label, their sound, most of their LPs are very raw sounding. It's almost very fuzzy. This one definitely is kind of fuzzy in a way because the guitar tone and everything it's fuzzy, but it gives it its charm. You know, it's just its charm to it. It's like, I can't come up with the words, but it's just a very raw metal album. And it should be no secret that Metallica covered the song Loose and Lethal on one of their demo tapes. Or garage tape, whatever. They did it, but they didn't pick up Loose and Lethal. They actually picked up the Scene of the Crime. I believe so, that's the name of it. And it was a split LP. And it had two Savage songs and early versions of songs that would appear on here, which is Loose and Lethal and Dirty Money. So this is definitely good, and also features some demo tracks such as, you know, songs that would not appear on here, such as No Cause to Kill, The Devil Take You, and Back on the Road. Just a classic album, really is. And I was definitely happy to find this at Recycled Records up in Reno. Very happy that I got this one. It's a classic one. I think no metalhead should be without. Alright, moving on. Another one I picked up at Recycled Records up in there, and we're getting there to one of the later stuff. This is Warrior, Ancient Future. This is the same Warrior that did Fighting for the Earth. Same band that did that one. Same vocalist. And this would actually be the last one to feature him before they start and get other vocalists such as Rob Rock and Mark Storis, or I guess that, I hope that's how you pronounce his last name, of Crocus. This is definitely a little different than the style that's on Fighting for the Earth, but it's still a good album. It's a little more political. It's a little political, actually, which is kind of interesting for a Warrior album because of, you know, it's a little science fiction. It's a little that, but it's a little political and also kind of bitter in ways because of the way the country was getting ran during like in '98 and the shit with Iran and such. It's like they were just a little pissed, I guess, and they decided to actually make an album about that. And honestly, I thought it was interesting, actually. It's still a good album. It still is. I really do dig... I do dig it. It still definitely has a song that would have actually fit the album of Fighting for the Earth, and that's... I'm going to say Tonight We Ride. Tonight We Ride is pretty much the song that kind of sounds like it would have been not out of place on the Fighting for the Earth album. But still got some good ones, even such the upbeat Tear It Down, which is just a fucking rocker of a song. Really is. And definitely one of my favorite songs next to Tonight We Ride. Such a good... and not the best Warrior album. I haven't listened to the other two, but not the one I would say to pick up. I would say get this one last. But That pretty much ends that. Now moving on. Classic band. This is Riot, Fire Down Under. This is the reissue from 1999 because they were starting to do a lot of the reissues by that time, and this does have 2 bonus tracks that were taken from the High Voltage CD reissue from 1997. However, the reason I wanted this one instead of the High Voltage pressing is because it actually features the original mix, because of producer Steve Loeb remixed it in 1997 for the High Voltage release, and honestly, for some reason, I actually do dig this version more because, for one, it's actually a little raw. It doesn't sound so overproduced. It sounds like it grabs you by the throat and just chokes it to life, and even just rips the fucking jugular right from you. That's pretty much what I get when I listen to this. It's just a raw, heavy rock album. Just raw. And it definitely, I would say this is still metal, but it's also very like biker rock, since everyone seems to throw that fucking tag around, and it's pretty much a good description of this. Good one. Last one to feature original vocalist Guy Speranza, who sadly died in 2002 or 2003, somewhere around there. Can't believe it just... But, good one. Classic Riot album. Still moving on with the Riot. This is Born in America. This one features the late Rhett Forrester, who died in 1994, sadly. And honestly, some say that this is probably one of the weakest Riot albums, I guess, because not many people are very fond of the Rhett Forrester stuff, but I like this sound. This was actually one of the first Riot albums I ever listened to, and this is just a really... It's almost kind of like, reminds me of Fire Down Under in a way. It's like almost continuing a little bit that type of style. Still that, it's not very, I guess you could say kind of glamish, but it's not really. Because of, this is still fucking balls out metal. This is ballsy. The whole thing about this is fucking ballsy. I like Rhett Forrester's vocals. He's just got a raspy sort of voice. Even though he also has a melodic side as well. He's fucking raspy as well. He's like... He's just a real... had a definitely quite a bit of a voice that I think fit the Riot sound. It definitely fit it. In my opinion, it really did. And songs such as Born America... The epic Wings of Fire... Wings of fire, take me higher. One of the best fucking songs off of this album. I really loved it. Just, even songs such as Vigilante Killer, Running from the Law, Gunfighter, Heavy Metal Machine. Heavy Metal Machine! Fucking great album, I have to say. Honestly, this would probably take the cake as one of my favorite of the Rhett Forrester era. Great fucking album. Now, that pretty much ends it for some of the 90s releases. Now it's time to go on to 2000s when they started doing the box sets. First one, picked this up, I think it was last year. I picked this up like around last year, actually. Or somewhere this year. Fate's Warning, Awaken the Guardian. This is the box set version, which features, 2 discs. First disc, which is the original album, remastered, demos for the second disc and some live stuff. Then a live DVD, which I checked out the live DVD. Fucking raw, but what can you say? It's live Fate's Warning. I haven't been in something... I'm starting to get into Fate's Warning, though. This is like the first Fate's Warning album I actually own on disc, because I haven't heard a lot, but honestly, I'm really digging this. I really dig them. Definitely a pretty classic prog power metal band. That's pretty much what the describing of the band's sound goes along. And now, move on.